You're listening to a Shockcast original. Shock.
The C Word with Callista.
Okay, welcome back to the C Word with me, Callista, where we talk to your favorite content creators to find out what makes them so successful. And today's guest, you've probably seen him, well, basically everywhere. He's got 141,000 followers on Instagram, 111,000 subscribers on YouTube, 364.9 thousand followers on TikTok. He's the parody king. He is everybody's favorite Matsale. It's Marco D.
Wow, you've really done your facts there. I didn't even know these numbers myself. Wow, I should hire you as my manager.
So how have you been now back in CMCO?
Honestly speaking, it's quite interesting, to be honest, because I actually have never experienced the whole MCO, CMCO. I think there's another 5 other ones. I forgot already. So many, because I was in England. So I went to work. I went to Astro. To go to Astro, I have to cross districts. So I had the letter, and I was kind of looking forward to, showing my letter to the roadblock, saying, yep, look, I have my letter here. And seeing some action, because I heard apparently during the MCO it was very strict. There were all these police, there was army, and I didn't see anything. So I was a bit disappointed, because I was looking forward to experiencing the CMCO, but maybe we'll see more coming up. But honestly, I think Malaysia is doing a really good job with everything and stuff. I think this is just a caution. I think we just all stay safe, be good, and I'm sure things will be very sweet very soon.
Yeah, honestly, right now it's just dependent on how we deal with it, right? Like they can't lock us down forever, so it's kind of like a self-initiative kind of thing that you yourself stay at home. Yeah, but is that kind of like affecting how you do your content though? Because if you're just stuck in the house,
not really, to be honest. I think, as you know, because you're a content creator as well, you have to be able to adapt. So I think, honestly, for where I work at Astro Supersport, we've actually had more content, because you look at football players, you look at wrestlers, like we do a lot of stuff with WWE. We actually have more access, because we don't actually get to go to all these live events, because it's very costly to travel for every single one. And obviously we have the same access as all these other countries. So we actually get to interview more people, because there's more Skype or Zoom things. I'm sure it's the same as hits as well. You actually get more opportunities, because they don't do these like live meet and greet things anymore. So work-wise, not so much. I suppose it would be nice to have the freedom to go outside and shoot more things. But I think if you're in this industry, you have to be able to adapt. And, look at us. We're doing like a little Zoom call now for this. So we can adapt. We just got to kind of get on with it and, get on with our lives.
Yeah, same for radio. We've had a lot more interviews than probably, I think this year we've had more interviews than the whole 3 years that I've been at Hits.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's been really good. Content-wise, everything, like I was telling you earlier on, we wanted to bring all the podcast guests into the studio, but obviously that is a no-go for now. So we're still able to do it, thanks to technology.
I like your brick wall. Your brick wall is good enough for me.
Everybody loves it.
I love it. Maybe you can donate me a brick, because mine's a little bit boring. I have like a picture here, but it's not as good as your brick wall.
I think you can start drawing them on. You've got a lot of time at home now, an art project.
Halloween is coming up. I do have my little my mascot beside me as well. He's practicing his social distancing and his safety protocols over here. I'm gonna put him down. Yeah, Halloween's not just yet.
I was actually thinking about that the other day, because usually we all get into costume and then we'll go out and take photos or whatever, go party with friends. But this year, I don't think that's going to be happening.
No, I love Halloween as well, but unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be happening either.
Should we still dress up at home, though?
We'll have a virtual Zoom party. We'll get some snacks. We'll dress up as... I think people would probably dress up as a coronavirus, because that is the most scariest thing this year.
It's true. So, when it comes to content, take me back to the beginning, because I seem to have always known who you are, especially since I've been in KL and everything. But how did you start making content, and which platform did you start on? What kind of content did you start with?
Okay, so I started off as a TV host, and when I was a TV host back on another show, I don't think social media was that big. I mean, Instagram had just been created. YouTube was very big, and I always had a YouTube channel, but I didn't really take it seriously because there were so many TV hosting jobs for me. So I thought, oh, you know, I'm a TV host, I'm not a YouTuber. And then as the years went by, more and more things were happening on social media. Instagram were creating like longer videos for us to make. We had more options. We had things like Snapchat that became popular. I mean, now we have things like TikTok. But if we're going to go back, we realize, I think, I mean, it's the same with Astro as well. Not everyone watches TV as much as they do. They have a lot of stuff online. So as a TV host and someone that did like to create content, I took it a bit more seriously because I thought, you know, there's a lot of opportunities on social media. I want to be ahead while I still can and not jump on it later. And a lot of my friends who were TV hosts, they were like, oh, I don't want to do YouTube. I don't want to do content creation. I'm a TV host. But the reality is there's not as much TV host jobs now because, I mean, clients and I suppose companies that buy ads, they don't want to spend as much sometimes because more people are online. So even platforms like Astro, they will create these other online platforms that are doing really well and less towards the TV because times are changing. So I just had to adapt, and it's the same with TikTok. So everyone gives TikTok a lot of stick, like, oh, TikTok's lame, TikTok's for kids, TikTok's so rubbish, like, oh, it's so cringe. I just wanted to get on that platform because, you know, I saw a bit of potential in it, and I thought, you know, like, why not go on it? It's 15 seconds. I'll just cut some of my Instagram videos, put them up there. And if it goes big, I will grow with it. And I've been fortunate enough to be one of the people that has stuck through it. And now it's really big. And a lot of these people in the industry, they used to talk so much about TikTok. Like, oh, I'm never joining TikTok. Coronavirus hits, they're stuck at home. Oh, surprise, surprise. Everyone's on TikTok now. I mean, I wasn't really surprised. But like, you just have to adapt. You know, you can't say, oh, I'm never going to go on this app. I'm never going to do this. Because what if one day Instagram just dies? What if, you know, they shut it down? You have to have other platforms. You can't just be a TikToker because, you know, what if something happens with China and America? I mean, it already is. And, you know, suddenly TikTok can't be used. So you have to just spread all your like seeds in different kind of directions when it comes to content creation. And I suppose as a brand yourself, you give yourself more opportunities because if you're pitching something to a client, you can say, oh, I've got a TikTok, I've got a YouTube, I've got an Instagram, I've got a Facebook page. Some people have like Twitch. So it's all these different revenues you can get from different platforms. So why not? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of that, like when I was looking through your numbers, you've got almost double the amount of followers on TikTok than you do on Instagram.
Yeah. And I work harder on Instagram, and TikTok it's annoying. It's annoying because you work so hard, but that's the reality. So like, obviously there's something that's going right on TikTok, or, you know, because there's less people on the app, your videos appear more. So these are the kind of things as a content creator you have to take into account. You can't always say things like, you know, like, I want to stay true to myself and just do this, because you can't really grow. So my theory was, you know, I will make these TikTok videos. Yes, some of them might be very silly, but it's a different market that will be attracted to my other pages as well. So yeah, it's annoying sometimes because you spend so long doing like a YouTube video or an Instagram video, and then a 15-second stupid dance video is going to get like 1 million hits, and it's like, what the hell? I spent like weeks doing this one video and no one cares. And then this one, the social media world is even for the top creators, they don't even understand it still. You know, I watch all these.
It's very complicated.
It's very complicated, yeah.
Yeah, but I think trying to stay true to yourself and not going onto a different platform doesn't really make sense in this day and age, because how can you know that that's not you when you don't even know what the app does? You know what I mean? And I think through radio, that's also something that I've come to learn, where the older generation will always be like, no, TikTok's for kids. It's lame. We don't like it. And then the
Gary
kids will be
V's
like,
on it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You never know. And what's wrong with letting kids have something without calling it lame?
Yeah.
And vice versa. What's wrong with older people sticking to the platforms that they like and not having, you know, the kids say like, oh, that's lame. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally agree with you, because the way I saw it when TikTok started, like, yes, 70% of the videos when I started was just like, like it was all that, or very kawaii kind of Korean songs. So I just thought, okay, no one's doing like comedy or pranks or parodies, so let's be the first. And that's what these people should think. You know, for instance, there's this one girl who I follow. She's this American Korean doctor. She literally, all she does every day, she does a TikTok video talking about health, and she gets millions of views. So you can't just assume that an app is just for kids or just for this. You need to make it like beneficial to yourself. You know, if you're like a host and you like doing motivational speaking, there's so many things you could do on TikTok. You know, even business owners, like you can do like 15-second quick tips, but people just assume and they don't like to kind of challenge those boundaries. So they're going to get left behind.
Okay, so when you started, it was basically just YouTube and then Instagram, right? But do you know, because you've grown so much since when you first started, obviously, do you know which is the video, or what was the thing that actually kicked it off for you that made you like explode on social media? Because some TV hosts or some actresses are not that big on social media. So
I go through phases because like not every video I do is going to be a hit. So like I've had a few good ones over the years. So my numbers have always kind of like increased like kind of slowly, but they've always gone up, which is something I always take note of, like because if they don't, then I think there's something not working. But I think when I first came, I did a lot of kind of like Malaysian content. So I did a lot of videos like learning to speak in Malay and a lot of pranks and stuff. So I got that audience, and then in the last 2 years I started doing more stuff that I really love doing myself, like the parodies, for instance, and luckily enough I've been fortunate that the people that followed me from all that stuff I did before like enjoy it as well. So I think it really depends, because you know, some like if I do a parody, sometimes it's not just like a Malaysia thing. Like I did like this one about like bubble tea, and I got all these people following me from like from Taiwan and America. And during the lockdown, for instance, I did like this Frozen parody, did really well on TikTok. I had all these like English kids who are like 6 years old following me, and they still do now. And I do like a Malaysian video, and they're like, "What's this? What's this?" Like, don't understand. And it's really funny. So yeah, there's not been one point where it's gone like boom. It's just like when I've had a good video, I've kind of increased like quite a few more. But there's not been one point where I suddenly went from like, you know, 10,000 to 100,000. It's always been kind of like an upward kind of curve in a small way. Yeah.
Well, you just had a good one. Your latest parody, I was looking at it. I told you I watched it. It was really good. The Influencer song.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
That already has over 40,000 views in just 3 days.
Yeah, I was happy with that, but I thought it was going to do a bit better. But at the same time, I always knew it's a very niche market, because it's a song about social media influencers. So if you're not one, or you don't follow too many, it's not that funny. Like, I think it's very funny in our kind of circle, but something like bubble tea, that maybe appeals more, or, you know, people who hate bubble tea can enjoy it. So this one, it was a smaller market, but for me, it was still my favorite parody I've done, just because I love musicals, and I've always wanted to do like a kind of like a dancey one, and maybe a parody making fun of myself as well, because a lot of the stuff I parodied, it's about people like me. So it's, instead of me making fun of like bubble tea or a durian or something, it's making fun of myself, which is something I always think, you know, you have to be able to do if you're a content creator.
True. But what made you want to do that idea? Because like parodies are usually of like trending songs or of a trending topic, but this was something that wasn't particularly trending. The song obviously was not trending because it's a very famous old time song.
Yeah. Musical,
and so this one just kind of came out of nowhere. But how did you come up with it?
I've had this idea for a few months, and I had 1 week where I had nothing on. So I had no jobs, and I had like nothing happening at Astro. So I was like, okay, this is the week where I smash this parody, get the lyrics done properly, record it. And I knew I was doing this travel show that was coming up like 2 weeks after that. And I was going to be in places like Perak and Penang, like on the outskirts where there's no signal. So I was like, okay, this is perfect, because if I shoot this now, I'll have 2 weeks to edit it, you know, when there's no line and I'm bored out of my brains. That's why I decided to do it then. The song, like I said, this was kind of like a personal kind of like passion thing, I suppose. I know it's not going to go super viral, but it was something I always wanted to do. So I was just like, you know what, I'm getting old now. I've got to get this one done quick, you know. So yeah. But I was happy with it. It was a very, very fun shoot. So yeah.
But all your parodies look like it was a super huge production. Do you do everything yourself? Because you just mentioned you edited it.
It's not. It's just like my first parodies I started doing, it was like really on the spot. And then when that Bobber Girl one did well, that's when I kind of took it more seriously. But it's literally me. It's like a one-man team with my friend Daniel, who helps me with the song mastering. So he records the song, he tweaks it a bit here and there. He makes it sound like awesome. I can't thank him enough. And then I've had different people shoot for me, but I will always edit it myself because it's like my baby. You know, it's like it's something that I thought of the vision. So I think only I know what I want, I suppose. So it's low costs, but a lot of work. Yeah,
So
but a lot of fun as well. Yeah.
Like that take? Because that sounds like a lot for one person.
Okay, so normally it would take maybe... Lyrics is different. Lyrics will just come when they come. So, for instance, I can't just spend a whole day doing lyrics. Maybe I'll spend maybe 2 hours, and then the next day, I thought of this the other day, let's add this in. Recording the song, maybe 2 hours. Planning the shots, maybe an hour. Shooting the video, maybe a day, perhaps. And then editing it, maybe 1 to 2 days. So I think if you add all that time up, maybe like 4 days for everything, I suppose. If it's a really cheap, quick, trending parody I need to get up as soon as possible, maybe I can get it done and everything in 2 days. Yeah.
Did you learn how to edit after you started doing social media, or was it something you always knew how to do?
No, I learned YouTube. So YouTube, I started learning to edit. And then I think the more videos you do, the more things you pick up. I still don't consider myself a good editor. I think parodies are quite... Yeah, it's so hard. But then at the same time, only us know how to edit it because it's our ideas. So it's hard telling someone, okay, edit this, when they don't have your vision. So yeah, it's tough. It's annoying. Sometimes it's like, oh, for God's sake, I hate this. But then when you make a good video, you look back and you think, oh man, I did this all myself. This is really cool. And you feel proud afterwards because it's like, oh, I created this. I didn't just give it to someone else to do. It's rewarding at the end of the day. But I agree. It is very tedious at times, yes.
What software have you been using?
I use Final Cut Pro, and I think I'm the only person. Everyone else is using Adobe, but I've just not really... I don't like changing things. I've always been like the same phone brand. I don't want to have to learn new things, especially when it's so busy now. I kind of think I should change to Adobe because everyone seems to be on it. So obviously it shows that it's probably better, but I just not changed yet. I'm too scared because I know Final Cut Pro so well. Yourself?
Yeah, I don't edit my own videos. I've actually got a friend of mine who, she used to be the content producer for Hit Sabah before I moved to KL. Our minds seem to sync. She knows exactly how to edit my videos. I don't even have to. I just give her the footage and it comes out exactly how I wanted it.
Oh, amazing.
So that's been good.
Has she got red, orange hair as well? Or
she's got purple hair.
Okay, I see. So you're both kind of, okay.
Yeah,
okay, got it.
We gel really well.
I think over the years I've got people I've met who I could trust to edit, and they do edit some things, but parodies is always got to be me because I actually enjoy editing the parodies as well because I look back and normally with my parodies I get my mates to be in it. I don't pay anyone to be in it. It's just my friends. So there's a lot of funny footage as well. It's nice to look back. But if it's like a client video or something tedious, I'm like, oh no, I can't edit this. Get someone else to do it. Yeah.
But that's the thing. Your content is more of a creative side, whereas mine it's a lot of vlog stuff. So it's pretty straightforward.
See, I find vlogs the hardest to edit. I feel like skits and stuff, it doesn't have to look so nice, but I feel like vlogs is all about like, whoa, this angle and, transition. So I actually freaking hate editing vlogs. So I have to disagree with you there. Like, I don't know, maybe your person's really good at editing, but for me, I think vlogs is my least favorite thing to edit.
I guess I've also asked you this, but when it's not a parody, how do you come up with other content ideas? And do you just go on holiday and make sure you take photos? Or when it's a client thing, do you just look at it and go, yeah, I'll drink this and then say something funny? Or what is the process?
I took things a bit more seriously 2 years ago. So I was one of those people that, a client would come in and they would say okay, can you promote this? Can you do a video? And I put my hands up and I'll admit, 3 or 4 years ago, I would quite happily take a video and be like, hey guys, this power bank is really good. It's 10,000 megahertz, really good. I love how red it is. It's black as well. Get it today. So now I never do that because I feel like, oh my God, that's such a sellout. I would take this job, but I would think of ways to, make it more engaging or funny or put my personality into it, because I suppose as your numbers increase, you can maybe like ask more from clients for jobs, for instance, as well. So you have more budget to kind of get someone to shoot for you or whatever. So it all depends, really. I mean, like the whole parody thing, I wanted, my whole goal about parodies, yes, I love doing it, but I wanted to kind of be able to make songs for brands, which I've done before as well. So you have to kind of not over plan, because if you over plan, it's always hard for ideas to come and flow. But if it's for a client, I will always give them a few ideas, like funny ideas, get their feedback on the best one before I waste their time and my time, because sometimes clients are very old school.
But do you have any tips for when you are stumped? Like you want to put out something, but you can't get any ideas?
The first tip I would say is maybe try something that you really believe strongly in, because you obviously are going to want to work hard on that because you believe in it. Maybe just brainstorm. Sometimes I do that. You know, if I get an idea, always write it down. You know, I'll be out and someone will say something and I'll be like, oh, that's actually really funny. I want to do a video about that. I always write it down.
How important do you think collabs are for like up and coming content creators to grow?
Okay, I think they are good, but at the same time, it depends on what you're going to bring, I suppose. I would say if you're an upcoming content creator, you should always try and approach, you know, people to do videos. People are not going to say yes all the time. Like they're most likely going to say no. Come to them with an idea or something, or maybe just offer something, I suppose, just to get your foot in the door, because I used to do that a lot. These people who are obviously like bigger than you and, you know, have more reach, for them, it's just, okay, sure. So I think if you want to approach someone, make it really kind of less kind of stressful for them, because at the end of the day, they're the one that maybe is going to help you grow, I suppose. And I think it is quite important. Don't be afraid. Honestly, anyone who's watching this who wants to collab with me or whatever, send me a DM. I always check my DMs, like tell me a fun idea or whatever. And you might just think, oh, they're not going to reply me, but you would be surprised. You'd be very surprised. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Do you think it's important to post daily, especially like on Instagram and TikTok?
TikTok, yes, just because TikTok relies on the hashtags. So TikTok is something where there's different challenges every day. Instagram, on the other hand, it's been around for a long time, and I think it's more of a kind of, it has more quality control. So if you post every day on Instagram and it's just selfie or just a random video, people are more likely to unfollow you if it's not a certain standard. So I wouldn't say post every day unless you have something to post. And also, okay, don't overexpose your stuff. A lot of people I know, they film all these videos and they just upload like every day, and then they don't have any ideas for 2 weeks. You should definitely stock up content, in my opinion, as well. So then on a rainy day, at least you have 2 YouTube videos saved, or you know, like some stuff. It's always good.
Do you ever get self-conscious when you're shooting or taking photos and everything in public? Because what inspired this question was I was on your page and I saw you taking a photo with these aunties cooking, and
Wait,
then you
was
had
that in
like
Penang?
I
Oh,
think
Penang,
so.
in
Then
Penang,
you had,
right?
like speech bubbles saying like,
Oh, yeah.
Gonna be done.
I just don't really care what people think. I'll rephrase that. I care what people think because I know I'm a public figure and I have to be good. But if someone finds my content lame, I couldn't care less. Like, I mean, I just want to entertain people, and I like to make fun of myself. I just want to entertain people.
Okay, obviously you're a night owl because we are filming this at what? It's now almost 1 a.m.
Don't tell them. No, yeah.
Do you do a lot of content at night?
Oh my God, yeah. Like, seriously, I'll get an idea really late, and then I'm just like, oh, this is so good. Like, this is really exciting. And I'll sometimes be up till 4 writing lyrics or even editing, because sometimes, you know, like you say, trending things have to get them out as soon as possible. So you'll be up all night editing it. I really am a night owl. I have different phases. Sometimes I wake up early and I'll be like, okay, let's do all these tasks. Some days I'll wake up really late and then it will turn to 6 o'clock and I'm like, oh my God, I've not done much today. Okay, this evening, let's do this. And then I'm working till like 3 a.m. So it really depends, but I think I definitely am a night owl. I try and say to myself, okay, let's wake up before 9 today. It doesn't really happen, yeah.
I always ask this question because I'm always very curious. Whether it's social media people or even just artists, they're all night owls. Every single one of them. I haven't interviewed anyone who's not a night owl yet, actually.
I had to be up at 8 today and I had 4 hours sleep last night. I had to have a 2-hour power nap or I can't do any more work because I'm just like, oh, so tired, so lazy. I think everyone's body's different. I heard that vegans, that they have more energy, so maybe I need to try that. I think creative people are night owls just simply because we have to be able to adapt to, you know, maybe doing things late at night, getting things out, adapting to different time zones and stuff. So yeah.
So it is almost 1. So I will let you go. But
thank you so much.
Is basically, what advice would you give to anyone who wants to make social media their career?
Advice, let me think. Okay,
or how would you guide them?
Let me try and be blunt, just so I don't waste anyone's time. So, social media, content creation. Number 1, don't simply get in the industry because, oh, you know, I want followers. I want, you know, these, it looks so cool, free things, you know, popularity, famous, because that's the wrong reason. If you do that and you're not in it because you're passionate about it, honestly, I've seen so many people like that, and then within a year, that's it, they're gone because they're in it for the wrong reasons. If you want to be a content creator, do something you love. Do not do fashion if you don't like fashion, because that is something you're going to have to edit. You're going to have to talk about it for ages. You're going to have to fake it. Do something you actually love to do, so then you have the inspiration to want to make those videos. So that's another advice I'd give. Next one is hustle. You're not going to get anywhere without, you know, knocking on people's doors. Don't be afraid to, you know, and it applies to even photographers or musicians. Don't just wait around for someone to come, because it's not going to happen. And my next bit of advice would maybe be, try and be different, be original. Don't just simply say, oh, you know, I want to be a content creator. Oh, I like doing vlogs. I'll just do a vlog, because there's about 1 million vlogs online. There's 1 million things. If you like fashion, yes, there are a lot of people doing fashion videos. Do something that no one's done before. Maybe do something like cheap fashion. You know, you go to Vijaya Times Square, 50 ringgit, you got to get an outfit or something. Do that. Make it like a running thing. Be known as that person who does really cheap items for fashion. Don't just simply do, hey guys, these are my looks for, you know, Good Vibes Festival. This is what I wear, you know, because everyone does that, you know. So be original, be unique, because that's how you're going to get noticed, I think. Sorry for being blunt, but instead of encouraging, you've got to be a bit realistic sometimes as well.
I think that's really good advice, though.
Oh, thank you. You're not just agreeing with me because you're tired because it's 1 a.m., are you?
No, trust me, I've got about 3 hours before I get to bed. But
okay.
Yeah, I think that's probably the bluntest advice that anyone has given on this podcast so far.
Oh, awesome.
But yeah, that was great. So thank you very much for being on the podcast.
Thank you so much. Take care. Be safe, everyone, as well.
The C Word with Callista.